This is Desperate Man Blues. The tuning is G, G, D, G, B, D. So the low two are both G. Something like that. So, as you can tell, the bass, the thumb is just pretty much doing like alternating between the two G's. So you get kind of like that, you know, and you could do this without doing the double drop G, but it's, you just get so much sustain and kind of drone sound. So obviously get the thumb down first, like before you try to get finger independence. So doing that slowly, you could do it like, or even slower. So to show you more clearly, I'm just alternating between the two low strings. So, doing that really slow. And the left hand, it's just these, just the top two strings. So this whole intro riff is just I guess on the high D string, the 2nd fret, and the high B string, the 1st fret. So it's, and then you go to the 3rd fret on the D string. So it's always just those, and then the third fret occasionally to get that, and then open. So the left hand is pretty simple right there. And so when it comes out of that, it goes to the bar. So you'll bar the 3rd fret and go. So to show you kind of how that goes, you'll come out of the So you'll hammer on the 2nd fret on the D, and then hit the open G with your, I'm hitting that with my middle finger. And then bend the G on the 3rd fret. So doing that, so you're bending the G on the 3rd fret, open, 2nd fret on the D, that's the non-bass part. So then you bar the the 3rd fret and just do. So you're still keeping your bass, your thumb doing the same. So that's pretty much how it goes. And then, so I think he kind of changes that up just a little bit while he's going through it, but that's pretty much the main riff. And so then he goes back to this chord, this, I guess, I'm not really exactly sure what that chord would be called, but just the 1 and the 2. Goes through that whole thing again, kind of switching up a little bit. And so sometimes he'll go, and so there you're going between the 5th fret on the D string and the 3rd on the B. So when he comes out of that, he goes up to this high part, and this is where you first start to change your thumb pattern. So he'll, again, that whole riff twice, and then when he comes out of it, he'll go up to the higher part. And then drop down, and I always go to the low G and go, and when you're hitting this, you're now going to alternate your thumb between the low D and, or excuse me, the low G and the D right here. So while you have it fretted, you'll go between the D and the 5th fret on that low G. And then right when you take your finger off, you go back to between the G's. So here, hand slowly. So that's where you're back between the G's. G to D. Now the exact same shape, except you're now, instead of you were on the 5th fret with your ring finger and 3rd fret with on the B, you move that shape up 2 frets. So you're now between 7 and 5. And you're doing the same, alternating between the low G and, the low G and the D. So same arpeggio. Except you're adding your pinky on the D string on the 7th fret. And then you go to the 5th fret on the D. So that's the only part where the thumb is not just going between the low G's. So and then you bar the 5th fret. So that's a pretty massive bend right there. Whole step bend. So you can you'll hit this, you'll bend on the B string on the 7th fret and resolve it to the 5th fret on the high D string. So you'll go, and you'll match those pitches. So like that's how you can, if you're a little bit off on the bend, you can kind of adjust it to match it to that pitch. So again, you'll have the bar on the 5th fret and you'll go. So you're doing that bend, but remember your thumb is still just doing between the 2 G strings. So even though you're barred, you don't have to think about changing your thumb when you're going through that. And then he does this a little. And so that's just like a regular, and you're again barring the 7, and you're just doing that little walk up on the high D string. 9th fret, 10, 9. Same little thing except starting from the 5th fret. 5, 7, 8. 7, 5, and then you do another, that massive bend. And then you do this little walk down from the 3, 2, 1, so you'll go. 3rd fret on the B string. So, and then you can just kind of start it over. But the real thing is just like getting the finger independence and getting the getting the thumb down, because I guess I'll show you one more time the part where the thumb changes. And so again, you'll come out of the, that's between the 3 and 5 on the D and the G string. This is where you change the bass pattern. Back to the regular bass pattern after that. Now change it again. Change it again when you move that up. And so, like, I always try to do that bend down, so I just hold it. So that's about it, and I'll put a link to the tab. There's a good tab for it, which will show you all the things that I've messed up.